The top stories tonight in Y News. Injured overseas Filipino workers in quake-hit Taiwan received financial assistance from various agencies. Department of Foreign Affairs says China's aggression in the West Philippine Sea would be discussed in the upcoming Trilateral meeting of Philippines, Japan, and the United States in Washington, D.C. A senator believes the supposed gentleman's agreement between former President Rodrigo Duterte and China, as claimed by former presidential spokesman Harry Roque, is non-existent and void. And we will discover why United States President Joe Biden issued a warning to Israel, indicating that the U.S. might condition its support for Israel's offensive in Gaza. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Friday, the 5th of April, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harley Delgado. First in the news. Various government agencies provided assistance to overseas Filipino workers in Taiwan who were injured in the recent earthquake that occurred last Wednesday. Manila Economic and Cultural Office or MECO Chairman Silvestre Bebot Bello III will also meet with Filipino community leaders today to ascertain the situation of Filipinos in the said country. Ryan Lacanlale tells us why.
Manila Economic Cultural Office MECO Chairman Silvestre Bello III personally visited the overseas Filipino workers who were injured in the earthquake in Taiwan last Wednesday. Together with representatives from the Department of Migrant Workers or DMW, Overseas Workers Welfare Administration or OWA, and the Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA. Bello personally assessed the condition of the injured OFWs and provide them with government assistance. The said OFWs were given cash assistance, 30,000 new Taiwan dollars from DMW, 10,000 NTD from MECO, and 5,000 NTD from OWA. 4 OFWs were injured, with one still hospitalized but in stable condition. According to Chairman Bello, the situation of Filipino in Taiwan is now stable.
Okay naman, high spirit naman sila. Nagkwento sila kung ano nang ginawa nila nung nagkaroon ng lindol, ganon. Okay, high spirit.
Today, April 5, Chairman Bello is scheduled to meet with 40 leaders of Filipino communities from various locations in Taiwan. He said that they are the primary sources of information to know the situation of Filipinos in Taiwan.
Unang-una, alamin namin ang kalagayan nila at alamin din namin meron silang alam na kababayan pa natin na naging nasaktan o naapektuhan dahil sa lindol. Saka param din namin yung utos ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na bigyan sila ng tulong at kung ano man ang pwedeng itulong sa kanila parating sa kanila.
Bello hopes that no other Filipinos were affected by the earthquake, aside from the 4 who were reported injured. Tomorrow, April 6, they are set to go to the epicenter of the earthquake to check on our fellow Filipinos and also to provide assistance to one of the 4 injured individuals. Ryan Lacanlale, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Next week, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will depart for Washington, D.C. in the United States to hold meetings with U.S. President Joe Biden and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. According to the Department of Foreign Affairs, the meeting will discuss strengthening the relationships among the 3 countries, including the issues of security in the Indo-Pacific region, to be discussed in the Trilateral meeting. Nel Maribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, and United States President Joe Biden will issue a joint vision statement following the Trilateral meeting in Washington, D.C. on April 11. According to Hans Mohamed Siriban, Acting Deputy Undersecretary of the Department of Foreign Affairs, the three leaders will discuss incidents of China's harassment in the West Philippine Sea, among other issues.
Yes, I think we can expect a discussion on the recent incidents. Of course, the joint vision statement is still under discussion, but we can expect an alignment of views among the three countries on the recent incidents in the West Philippine Sea.
According to the DFA official, it's inevitable to discuss the tension in the West Philippine Sea because it's also part of economic concerns that could affect the region.
The security environment will also have to be taken into consideration because for economic resilience and economic growth to happen, we will also have to take into account the peace and security of the region.
Also on the agenda of the three countries are discussions regarding technology, clean energy, and climate change. According to the DFA, there are currently no expected agreements to be signed by the three countries. In addition to the Trilateral Leaders Summit, President Marcos will also attend several meetings with businessmen in the United States. Nel Maribho, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Price increase in products and services accelerated in the country in March 2024. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA, 3.7% inflation rate was recorded last month. Jed Narasina details why.
Based on the report of the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA, the inflation rate or level of increase in prices of goods and services speeded up to 3.7% in March compared to 3.4% in February 2024. This is the second consecutive month of increase in the inflation rate, among quicker increase in food and transportation prices. According to the agency, the main influence in the general inflation trend this March was the increase in the price of food and non-alcoholic beverages. Moreover, PSA also expects an increase in rice inflation until July. According to National Statistician Undersecretary Dennis Claire Mapa, since January of this year, the price of rice in the market has really increased.
So ang expectation, it will actually increase strongly hanggang mga July because of base effect, unless there is really some intervention na mangyayari sa market na biglang bababa yung presyo. Wala kaming nakikita sa ngayon. First, yung bigas, we've been discussing this since January na press conference for inflation. Talagang packet siya ng packet.
He explained that this is due to the continuous increase in the price of rice in the world market. El Niño also had an effect, especially that some plants are being affected by the phenomenon.
Ang nakikita namin, based on responses ng mga farmers natin, medyo mixed tayo. Of course, yung problem natin talaga, yung problem nila, yung water. Doon sa mga may access to irrigation, of course, sinasabi nila na okay yung production nila. Pero doon sa ibang areas naman na walang access, may mga nagre-report na may mga damages.
Jed Neresina, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, United States President Joe Biden issued a warning on Thursday, April 4, indicating that the U.S. might condition its support for Israel's offensive in Gaza based on concrete actions taken by Israel to protect aid workers and civilians. The warning came during a call between Biden and Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu following an Israeli attack that resulted in the deaths of 7 aid workers from World Central Kitchen or WCK. Israel claimed the attack was a mistake. Biden, a long-standing supporter of Israel, has so far resisted pressures to withhold aid or halt weapons shipments. This marked the first time he has threatened possible conditioning of aid, signaling a potential shift in the ongoing conflict's dynamics. During the call, White House reported that Biden emphasized the necessity for Israel to announce and implement specific measurable steps to address civilian harm, humanitarian suffering, and aid worker safety. The White House further stated that U.S. policy towards Gaza would be contingent upon Israel's immediate action in this regard. As the primary supplier of weapons to Israel, the Biden administration has largely shielded Israel diplomatically at the United Nations. Following the call, White House spokesperson John Kirby refrained from providing specifics on potential policy changes towards Israel regarding measures to address humanitarian concerns in the coming days. However, Netanyahu's spokesperson suggested that Washington would need to clarify its position on potential policy changes. Subsequently, the White House welcomed Israel's decision to open the Ashdod port and Erez crossing to facilitate humanitarian aid deliveries and to increase aid directly from Jordan to Gaza.
He made clear that U.S. policy with respect to Gaza will be determined by our assessment of Israel's immediate action. He made clear the need for Israel to announce a series of specific, concrete, and measurable steps to address civilian harm, humanitarian suffering, and the safety of aid workers.
It's not just about the announcement of concrete steps and changes in their policies, but it's the execution of those announcements and those decisions and implementing them. And so we obviously will watch closely and monitor how they do on the commitments that they make. And as I said earlier, if there's no changes to their policy and their approaches, then there's going to have to be changes to ours.
The head of the World Organization for Animal Health, or WOAH, warns of increased risk of humans being infected with avian influenza as bird flu spreads to more species and regions. In the past years, it has been observed that the virus is mostly carried by migrating wild birds, which has resulted in the culling of hundreds of millions of poultry globally. Although this season has seen a lower number of outbreaks, the virus has widened its geographic reach, spreading to South America and Antarctica. According to Monique Eloyd, head of the Paris-based organization, it is worrying to see animals not commonly affected to be hit with the disease, such as cats, tigers, seals, dolphins, bears, and even rare penguins. Eloyd's statements come after the United States government reported cases of bird flu in dairy cows in several states and a person in Texas. While the European Food Safety Agency, or EFSA, also warned of a large-scale bird flu pandemic if the virus mutates into a form transmissible between people, as humans lack immunity against the virus.
A former high-ranking official of the Duterte administration maintains that former President Rodrigo Duterte did not enter into an informal agreement regarding the West Philippine Sea, countering the claim of his former colleague. However, a lawmaker argues that the supposed agreement, even if proven true, is already void and is not binding for the Philippines. This report will tell us why. Senate Minority Leader Aquilino Coco Pimentel believes the supposed gentleman's agreement between former President Rodrigo Duterte and China, as claimed by former presidential spokesman Harry Roque, is void and non-existent. This as he stresses that any Filipino cannot bind the country in an informal, unwritten, and unrecorded agreement with other countries. That is why he supports the impending Senate inquiry into the matter, as initiated by his fellow minority lawmaker, Senate Deputy Minority Leader Risa Hontiveros.
It is a he said, she said scenario. So, mga ganyan, basta't mga ganyang scenario, void na po yan. Lalo na binabind nyo po ang isang bansa, that is void. Kaya nga, mabuti na rin to kung may hearing tayo na ganyan, maklaro natin yung mga ganyan so that future leaders will not even attempt to do this.
Should Roque be invited in the hearing, the minority senator says the palace official should be ready to prove that the agreement does exist.
Kung si Harry Roque ang source ng lahat ng ito, let him be ready with this proof or evidence so that he can convince us that there is really such an agreement. Pero if it is only the word of Harry Roque, I will remain unconvinced that there was ever an agreement.
In response, Roque argues that he doesn't need to show up in the Senate inquiry, maintaining that the agreement is a no secret.
Well, ang ebidensya nasa balita lahat. Lahat naman ng mga sinasabi ko, nabalita noong 2017 pa. So all you have to do is type China, Philippines, no new development, 2017. Lalabas lahat yan.
All right.
So hindi na ako kailangan ng marap dyan eh. Pero sinasabi nila sikreto yan. Wala namang sikreto dyan. It was an agreement to maintain status quo and it worked dahil mas mapayapa yung relasyon ng Pilipinas at China ng mga araw na yan.
Meanwhile, former Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo says he is willing to face the Senate inquiry should he be invited. This as he maintains that there was no gentleman's agreement concerning the West Philippine Sea, countering the claim of Roque. However, he criticizes the move to investigate the matter in the upper chamber.
Anong basis mo? Yung gentleman's agreement, ikaw mismo nagsasabi, if true. O ibig sabihin, hindi ka nga sigurado eh. Sinabi na nga walang gentleman's agreement eh. Publisidad lang yun. In aid of grandstanding. Ang sinasabi ni Presidente Duterte, I did not enter into any gentleman's agreement whatsoever. So lahat yun.
Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God. Colorum e-trikes in Pasay City will cease operation once policy to ban e-bikes and e-trikes takes effect on April 15. JP Nunez will tell us why.
As the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority declared that starting April 15, e-bikes and e-trikes will be restricted to major thoroughfares in Metro Manila, Colorum e-trikes in Pasay City will cease their operations. Some of them do not deny that they operate illegally, but due to demand of transportation, they are taking the opportunity to transport passengers.
Oo, illegal Talagang nakakaubiyahe lang para makakakuha ng pangkain.
Nahuli talaga kami pag nahuli kami ito, i-pounding. Pag sakaling malayo pa lang yung mga huli, nakikita namin nandyan tumatakbo na kami, papasok sa loob. Alam niyo naman, napakataas din ng tubos nito, lalo na sa Pasay.
Some commuters are comfortable to take ride to them from Rojas Boulevard up to MRT station in EDSA on a daily basis. They appeal to policymakers to allow them to serve as public transport.
Bakit ipinagbabawal daw kami? Wala naman daw usok to. Dapat bigyan daw kami ng permanenteng biyahe na paparehistro naman.
Talagang titigil muna kami paghahanap buhay sa mga ganito. Bawal yung nasa highway, hindi na kami lalabas. Siguro, babalik na kami sa dati naming hanap buhay na padyak.
Meanwhile, Sustainable Transportation Advocate Group, Alt Mobility PH, sees that the emergence of e-trike as alternative mode of transportation to commuters is a manifestation that the government failed to develop a comprehensive public transportation system in the country.
Itong popularity ng e-trikes, ito yung sintomas lamang ng patuloy na kakulangan ng gobyerno sa pagbibigay ng isang pangunahing pangangailangan ng mga tao ng transportasyon.
The group projects long queues in terminals and in highways once policy to ban e-bike and e-trike on major roads takes effect in April 15.
Inaasahan namin na mas mahihirapan palalo yung mga ordinaryong Pilipino sa kanilang pagko-commute. So mahirap na pahihirapin palalo.
Meanwhile, last Wednesday, April 3, during the cabinet meeting of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., he instructed secretaries to submit their recommendation in order to address the congestion in Metro Manila. National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan stated that the President is doing his effort to improve our mass transport system. Among the efforts are the construction of subways, expressways, and bridges. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
An overseas job fair was conducted today, April 5, at SM City, Valenzuela. Among the job orders or vacancies include 500 Filipino nurses in the Federal Republic of Germany. The recruitment process would be through a government-to-government agreement. The qualifications include that the applicant should be a Filipino citizen and permanent resident in the Philippines. Applicant must not be above 40 years old and willing to undergo German language training.
Ang job fair natin ngayon ay purely overseas job fair lang. So wala tayong ino-offer ngayon na local. Binigyan natin ng solo na pagkakataon ang mga overseas natin na mga aplikante na gustong mag-abroad para mas tutok ang kanilang ang job fair na ito para sa kanila.
Meanwhile, some Asian countries such as Japan, Malaysia, and Taiwan also need skilled Filipino workers. Several commercial establishments and houses were burned in Mamburao, Occidental Mindoro on Wednesday, April 3. Amidst the disaster, communal unity prevailed among the residents in the community. Rosa Licos will tell us why.
A fire ravaged Barangay 7 in the town of Mamburao, Occidental Mindoro on Wednesday, April 3. Due to the intensity of the flames, several establishments and houses were damaged. The site of the fire was near gasoline stations and market. Few fire trucks were also available in the town. Thus, in order to prevent the rapid spread of the fire, residents came together to put it out. They manually filled the fire truck with water. They passed buckets of water in a relay from the river so that the responding fire truck would not need to leave its position to refill.
Ultimo po yung mga nakasapatos, nakapantalon, tumalon na po sa ilog para magsalok ng tubig. Doon po namin nasubukan yung bayanihan. Matanda, bata, naka-uniforme.
There were also some residents who lent a water pump. They connected it to the river to expedite the loading of water.
Yung tao po, 95% gumagalaw. Instead of mag-live, mag-video, wala po. Kumbaga, napakalaking tulong po ng community volunteers that time.
Pax, a barangay councilor who has been a community volunteer for several years, is proud of his fellow villagers. Because of the collective effort of the people of Mamburao, they managed to contain the fire and prevented it from spreading. Authorities stated that no injuries have been reported in the fire incident. Rosa Licos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And in other global news, car enthusiasts and spectators alike are flocking to the 2024 New York International Auto Show held in the bustling metropolis of New York City, USA. Featuring an impressive lineup of e-vehicles and the coolest cars on the market, this show is captivating audiences with what's being hailed as the cutting edge of the future. Unique vehicles boasting innovative features and unparalleled driving experiences. Major car manufacturers have converged on the event to unveil their latest creations, with industry titans like Ford, Nissan, and Toyota among those showcasing their newest models. One vehicle commanding attention at this year's auto show is the luxurious Karma Kaveya, valued at a staggering $1.2 million and with production strictly limited. Its remarkable design has already led to one unit being sold. According to New York Auto Show spokesperson Lisa Barrow, the event has become a magnet for automotive enthusiasts, particularly due to the diverse array of cars on display, ranging from gas-powered to hybrids and even hydrogen-powered vehicles. For those eager to experience the excitement firsthand, the New York International Auto Show will continue until April 7th, with tickets available on their website. Admission is priced at $22 for adults, $8 for children, and free for those aged 2 and younger.
Attendance will will definitely be in the hundreds of thousands. And I think one of the big draws is the variety of vehicles. I mean, gas-powered, hybrids, full electrics, even hydrogen. There's a hydrogen car on the floor. So it's a very cutting-edge show with all the latest things and a great look at future vehicles as well.
A powerful earthquake rocked the Mariana Islands with a magnitude of 6.7, according to the GFC German Research Center for Geosciences. The quake struck at 11:03 GMT or 7:03 p.m. Philippine time this Friday, April 5, sending tremors across the region. The epicenter of the earthquake was located at a depth of 235.2 kilometers, initially recorded at 1904 degrees north latitude and 145.47 degrees east longitude. However, despite the significant seismic activity, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, has assured the public that there is no tsunami threat to the Philippines. In their Tsunami Information Bulletin number 1, PHIVOLCS stated that the recent earthquake with a depth of 212 kilometers and occurring at 19.1 degrees north and 145.6 degrees east in the Mariana Islands does not pose a risk of a tsunami. Citizens in the affected areas are urged to remain vigilant and follow safety protocols in the aftermath of the earthquake. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Avian, live from Australia. Good evening.
In a thrilling display of athleticism, the Senate Lady Defenders, Comelec Suffragettes, and Judiciary Justice Servers emerged victorious in the preliminary round of the UNTV Volleyball League Season 2. The action-packed event took place yesterday in Paco, Manila. JP Nunez reports.
Senate. And that's lifted high, lie again. Down the middle, and the first point off a spike. Exactly, so why not wait for Sherto for a while? Ira is around Irado. Diba yung hulog-hulog? Yung malatsisa, it's a resostat.
After an intense battle in the preliminary round of the UNTV Volleyball League Season 2 on March 13, held at the Paco Arena in Manila, the League of Public Servants returns to the hard court for the Win in Sports, Win for Charity event brought by UNTV. In the first game, the Senate Lady Defenders emerged victorious against the SSS Pension Protectors in a thrilling 5-set match with a score of 19-25, 25-23, 25-22, 20-25, 9-15.
Hanggang bukas tayo rito!
Menchi Tubiera of the Senate Lady Defenders was hailed as the best player of the game.
Tubiera is one of the 4 imports, of course, for the Senate.
Sayang naman yung pinapractice namin araw-araw kung di namin gagalingan, di ba? Susuklian namin yung mga pagod na ginagawa namin sa araw-araw, syempre.
In the second game, the Comelec Suffragettes triumphed over the PNP Lady Patrollers in another exciting 5-set showdown.
But Coach Marcos really commends the team because
with a score of 19-25, 21-25, 25-13, 25-19, and 12-15. Danica Gendrauli of the Comelec Suffragettes was recognized as the best player of the game.
Nasasama yung spirit ng mga teammates ko, hindi talaga nawawala, and yung mga support ng management and saka coaches namin, ano lang talaga, tibayan lang talaga ng loob sa court.
Basketball team, of course, is known as the Magis. Whoa! Back row, unable. In the meantime, Judiciary sets up this.
Meanwhile, the Judiciary Justice Servers secured a victory against the DFA emissaries in the third game, winning 3-1 with a score of 25-16, 25-13, 19-25, and 25-19. Alarni Pesebre of the Judiciary Justice Servers was named the best player of the game.
Kailangan masaya lang sa loob ng court. Kailangan mag-ingay at saka nagtutulungan talaga sa loob. Walang sisiyan.
Stay tuned for the next games of the public servants as the AFP battles the BFP, Comelec faces the Senate, and the SSS goes up against the Judiciary on April 7, 2024 at the Paco Arena in Manila starting at noon. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our Kasambahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International.
I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of James, chapter 2, verse 22. It says, "Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect." And those are the reasons behind the news, April 5, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. Because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Hardin Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.